Let's start, Your Excellency, with Syria. The Azeri gas deal was signed recently. Tell us more about the expected timeline and the biggest challenges.
Maybe I can start with our engagement with Syria for the energy services and what is the main motivation for us here. If you remember, immediately after the collapse of the Assad regime, we sent a technical team to Syria, and our aim was to help new administration for them to provide basic human services to Syrian people. Of course, energy, water, and other services are quite critical for normalizing the life in Syria. So that's why we focus on electricity. We send a technical team to Damascus immediately after the collapse of the regime. And these teams analyze the needs of Syrian infrastructure in terms of energy infrastructure and short-term, medium-term, and long-term plans how to normalize life in Syria as soon as possible. So after their analysis, we focus on bringing gas to Syria for power generation facilities because there are existing power generation plants in Syria, but unfortunately they don't have fuel. So that's why we developed this project. When President Shara visited President Erdogan in March in Turkey, President Erdogan instructed us to find a solution for this immediate fuel supply to Syrian power plants. And this project we started to develop, make the interconnection between Syria and Turkey. Of course, there are some challenges that we faced, as you rightly mentioned. And the biggest challenge was to the timeline. Of course, we try to make it as soon as possible. And there are some areas in the territory of Turkish-Syrian border. It was there were mines that needs to be cleaned up. And our Ministry of Defense did a fantastic job. Very quickly, they removed all these mines from the field. And we were able to interconnect these two pipelines. And we were able to supply gas to Syria August 2nd, coming from Azerbaijan. Of course, Qatari Development Fund was part of this project. So we started like a bilateral project, but turned it into a multilateral, very important humanitarian project.
So what is the timeline to reach the 3.4 million target?
Actually, today, the gas from Azerbaijan will come will be around 3.4 MCM per day, but the capacity of the pipeline is around 6 MCM. Now we are working on how we can increase the capacity to 6 MCM, which will be able to supply almost, I would say, like a 1,200 megawatt power generation capacity in Aleppo, in Homs, and through that we're going to be able to supply 5 million households in Syria for their electricity need. So we are now, the BOTAŞ, our state-owned company, is working on various options. You know, Turkey is importing its gas needs from various resources, so we have abundant, very diverse supply portfolio, including our own production. So we are trying to find additional gas volumes for Syria to be able to reach to 6 MCM per day capacity.
Any projects underway on that front?
Of course, yes. I mean, the whole project, I mean, what we are looking for, again, like the reliable long-term supply for Syria, for their gas needs, for power generation, obviously, and BOTAŞ and potential LNG suppliers. It could be US LNG, it could be some other source of energy, can be transferred to and exported to Syria.
As you mentioned, this is part of the broader plan to address Syria's long-standing electricity shortages. Aleppo is already getting around 200 megawatts from Turkey. What's the target there in terms of electricity? And tell us more, because you just mentioned that you're probably looking at electricity interconnection with Syria.
Sure. Actually, currently we are exporting electricity to Syria, northern territory of Syria, around like a 300 megawatts. It's a 281 exact numbers. and from eight different interconnection points between Turkey and Syria. Our aim as a first step to increase this amount to 360 megawatt over the next few weeks. But the ultimate goal is to make the capacity available from Birecik to Aleppo additional 500 megawatt over the next few months. There are things needs to be done in the Syrian territory for this interconnection. But again, beginning of first quarter of next year, let me put it this way, first quarter of the next year, we're going to be able to supply around almost 900 megawatt direct electricity export to Syria.
Amazing. Sir,
that's our aim.
Yeah, I think it's a fair question to ask if this support is political or economic or both. What's in it for Turkey? I know you've mentioned normalization of life in Syria.
Well, frankly, if life, yes, it is. The main objective is in here is again like a normalizing life in Syria, to help again like a current administration to provide these basic services to Syrian people. Because I was in Damascus personally 2 months ago for a state visit, and one of the very first thing you see when you go to Damascus, that there is a huge need for electricity. People find some distributed solutions or like their personal solutions. You see many small mobile generators everywhere. And you can imagine how the air quality is in the city. But also solar panels, if you're lucky enough, some solar panels in the balconies, in the rooftops. So these are some solutions that people try to find. So, and I cannot imagine the rest of the Syria. You know, this is the Damascus, the capital city of Syria. So the electricity is a basic human needs for today's world. So that's why our aim is to help Syrian people to access the electricity. But of course, Syrian stability is quite important in here. We want our neighbors, not only Syria, but all neighbors and the region itself more stable, more prosperous as well. And the stability is quite keen for us, and integrity of Syria, Syrian territorial integrity is quite important. So that's why it is a very important project for Turkey.
You have expressed interest in a long-term cooperation with Syria, which could include new oil and gas pipelines or even participation in rebuilding its energy sector. Are you currently in discussions with the Syrian government? Where do things stand today?
Yeah, our engagement with the Syrian government is right from the beginning was there, and today also we have a very good, close cooperation. And look, I mean, what we are doing right now is again like a short-term solutions for Syria and some partial solutions. But we need to find a solution, sustainable solution, and long-term solutions. To make this happen, we need to somehow utilize the resources in Syria, and Syrians itself needs to develop their own resources. Oil and gas would be an important catalyzer for these purposes. And if you look at the Syrian history, like the beginning of 2000s, in the oil side, Syria was producing almost 600,000 barrels of oil.
Yes.
Before the war, it was around like 380, 390,000 barrels, and today it's less than 100,000 barrels. So Syrian oil infrastructure needs to be upgraded, needs to be invested, and we believe that there is a potential in Syria that through our involvement, through some international oil companies' involvement, I think we can do that, and through that, again, like we can reach this sustainable supply of electricity and basic infrastructure needs for Syrian people.
Changing gears, sir, let's talk a bit about Iraq. Why did you drop the oil pipeline deal with Iraq, the old one? and what kind of comprehensive energy agreement you are seeking to do with Baghdad.
So now move to another neighbor,
Yes.
which is very also important.
We'll try to talk about all neighbors,
Iraq,
sir.
Has a long-standing good relationship with us, and especially. Yeah, okay. The Iraq-Turkey pipeline project, if you go back to like a history, it comes from 1970s actually. But unfortunately, since the establishment of this pipeline lasts almost 50 years, never fully utilized. The capacity of the pipeline, two pipelines, there are two pipelines by the way, two pipelines have a capacity of 1.4, 1.5 million barrels of oil daily. But unfortunately, again, never utilized for many reasons. 1990s Gulf War, 2003, and Daesh 2014, 2015. These two pipelines very severely damaged in the territory of Iraq. But Turkey, over the last 5 decades, made a huge investment to keep these two pipelines operational. It comes from Silopi to Ceyhan. It's almost 650 kilometers each, 40 inches, 46 inches, and we kept these pipelines operational. But unfortunately, never utilized. So what we have done quite recently to inform Iraqi government that we are looking for a new chapter for our the oil transportation, and ITP itself, this agreement, Iraqi-Turkey pipeline agreement, existing agreement, unfortunately is not meeting our expectations and is not meeting today's energy world's expectations. So that's why we informed them. Legally, we need to do this because a year earlier, you need to notify the counterparty that either you're going to extend the agreement as is, or like you can make some changes. Yes. So we send them a new draft agreement.
Did you hear back from the Iraqis on the proposed agreement?
Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you. Actually, I was able to meet Minister of Oil of Iraq, Hayyan Abdelghani, a few weeks ago in Vienna in OPEC meetings. We had a bilateral meetings, very constructive meetings. I already informed him about these developments, that we are going to send this notification, that we are not going to renew the agreement as is, but we are going to send a new draft. I think they are now trying to understand the structures of this new draft, and we can get together soon to discuss, and maybe technical team can start negotiations to renew the new agreement.
What did Turkey ask in the new agreement? What do you want to change?
I mean, not much. We want to change one thing and one thing only. We want to utilize fully this pipeline. We need to see 1.4, 1.5 million barrels of oil flow through this pipeline. And is there any potential in the region? Of course, there is a potential because Iraq currently itself exporting almost 3.2, 3.4 million barrels of oil. And all this oil goes to global market through Gulf of Basra and Hormuz Strait. And you know what we have witnessed over last few weeks when Israeli attacked Iran. The blockage of Hormuz Strait might affect all these oil transport and export. So I think it's also good for Iraq to diversify its export routes. Iraq has a huge potential for production. Northern Iraq has a huge potential, and also again, like the aim is to fully utilize these two pipelines.
Which will probably require more investment on the Iraqi side. In the same time, you are preparing today to resume oil flow through the Kirkuk-Ceyhan pipeline. Tell us why now.
Well, actually, this pipeline, again, we would like to use it. And after the earthquake and some floods in the region, Turkish territory, the pipeline was not operational for 6 months, starting from March 2023. And I believe I announced the global market that starting from October 4th, 2023, the pipeline was again becoming operational. And I announced this, but unfortunately, Erbil and Baghdad have some issues related to who's going to export the oil, who is going to do what, and the revenue will come to central government or the regional government. So there are some internal discussions between Erbil and Baghdad, and I hope and I believe that they will find a solution as soon as possible, so then the oil flow will resume. There are some news reaching us, and I keep receiving some letters from my counterparts in Iraq. They are about to start this oil flow, and so we are ready since October 4th, 2023. Whenever they will send the oil, we will be able to bring it to Ceyhan and through Ceyhan to global oil markets.
Good. To Libya now, what's the scope of the new offshore study agreement between Turkey's state oil company and Libya's national oil company? Tell us more about this agreement.
Sure. It is part of also our long-term oil and gas upstream program and strategy. That part of our strategy was focused on our offshore fields, and through this strategy it started to pay off, and we were able to discover large gas reserve in the Black Sea, which we are now producing, and we are supplying 4 million households in Turkey from our own production, and we are increasing the production. In the meantime, the second part of the strategy to look for opportunities outside of Turkey. Currently, we are producing oil and gas in Azerbaijan. Currently, we are producing a very small amount of oil in Iraq. In Basra, we have three fields and a partnership in these three fields. But beyond these two countries, we are looking for opportunities in Libya, Niger, Somalia. We send our seismic vessels in Somalian offshore. So this is part of our long-term energy strategy. In Pakistan, we are about to acquire some of the fields for oil and gas exploration. And Libya offshore, we have very strong fleets of seismic vessels, deep-sea drilling vessels. And this latest agreement with Libyan government will give us a chance to look for opportunities in Libyan offshore, which we can start like a seismic soon, and then we can follow up with the drilling if something prospective in Libyan offshore.
Sir, we really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for being here with us and to have the patience to answer all our questions.
Let's do this in face-to-face and in person.
Definitely, we would love to. We would love to. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.